What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you are new, welcome. My name is Devin, and I hope that you will consider sticking around and subscribing. And if you're not new, as always, welcome back. You know I love you. So I've got a big old box from Colourpop here, which is now empty because I just filmed this whole video. So I felt like it was time to just place a Colourpop order. There were a bunch of new things, a couple new palettes and a bunch of new formulas, and even some formulas that seem to be resurrected from the dead, relaunched, possibly reformulated, that I wanted to try as well. So we are not only going to talk about my Colourpop order with some of the new things that I'm trying out, but I figured since I was making a Colourpop video, I could also just show you all of the things in my collection that are staples from Colourpop, that are tried and true favorites. A little new, a little old. We do pretty much a full makeup tutorial. We're doing a full face today, so buckle up. I'm sure that means this is gonna be a pretty long one. But if you are interested in seeing how I got this makeup look, then let's get into it right now. So why don't we just start off by me just showing you what's in the box. Does that sound good? So first up, I got two eyeshadow palettes, two neutral eyeshadow palettes, because those are my favorite. I have had my eyes on these two palettes for quite some time, and I just never actually went ahead and bought them. I picked up this Golden Hour palette, which I just think is stunning. It's warm, it's neutral, you've got a good mix of mattes and shimmers in here. This color right here in particular looks amazing. I just feel like if you are a neutral lover, especially if you are specifically a warm neutral lover like me, I'm gonna use this palette all summer long. And then also, I got their 1111 palette. This one is more of like a true, in terms of undertone, more of like a true neutral vibe in my opinion. I honestly see this and think bridal. So again, I know it's basic, I know it's neutral, but I think there's a good, this palette has good depth to it, so you really can, actually I think we can really get some pretty smoky looks out of this with this bottom row here. I just think I'll use the heck out of this. These two were speaking to me. Had to have them. We're gonna use one of these in this video today, but I also would like to do individual tutorials with each of these as well, so stay tuned for that. Okay, and then last thing for eyeshadow, because I just remembered that I actually bought this in a bundle with these. So I bought 3 of their eyeshadow sticks. So I have the shades Angel Vibes, So Celestial, and Give Me a Sign. So Angel Vibes and So Celestial are metallics, and then this Give Me a Sign one is a matte, which I actually didn't realize. I thought that these were all gonna be shimmers, but either way, this one is Give Me a Sign. Do a little swatcheroo. Oh, they feel nice and creamy, pretty pigmented, and that's actually really warm. So this is the shade Angel Vibes. Oh, please twist up. No. Okay, good. Oh, I was about to be upset that I got a broken one, but it's all good. I didn't. Yeah, gorgeous. So pretty for all over the lid or even inner corner highlight. Look at that shine. Wow, that's stunning. Okay, and then this one is the shade So Celestial. Again, it's a metallic. It looks like this one's gonna be a little bit darker, or a lot of it darker than the other one. Okay, yeah, pretty. So pretty. Oh my gosh, if you love like a deep dark smoky eye all over the lid, definitely excited about those. They feel obviously nice, they swatch really nicely, they feel nice on my hand. Obviously there's potential for it to be a very different situation when we put them on the eyes, but so far they look promising. Okay, now I have mentioned a couple times in my recent videos that I am trying to get more into the cream liquid blush game this year. So in keeping with that theme, I got 3 blushes. So this one I'll talk about first. This is their Lip and Cheek Balm formula. It is from their Valentine's Day collection, and it looks like the name of the shade is Adore You. Beautiful packaging. There were 3 different shades of this. I did not feel the need to buy all 3. So I just got this one. It looks like it's definitely a pink, but hopefully a little bit warmer leaning. I was hoping this would be a really pretty summer color. Actually, it doesn't look that warm. It looks pretty pink. We'll see how it looks on the skin. And then I got 2 of their Instant Crush cream blushes. So these are a little bit different. Even though they are a cream blush, are said to have a natural matte finish according to the box here. So I got the shade Poppy. This is definitely like a warm peachy blush. This is definitely my kind of color, especially for the summer. I love something like this. And then I got the shade Bali Baby, which is a little bit more of a neutral. I feel like this will be really pretty for more dramatic eye looks when I still want to have dimension to the skin. I still want to have a blush, but I don't necessarily want the blush to be the focal point or to be super bright. That's what I got this color for. So I'm excited about all three of these, and they're definitely, let's see if I can hold them up all at once so I can just show you side by side the difference in the colors, because I am really trying to like branch out and try different colors than my normal go-tos as well. So there's the three blushes, definitely all different, but I feel like between these three, I can really have a good range of shades depending on the makeup look that I'm doing. So happy about those. Okay, and then I forgot I actually do have one more little thing here that has to do with eyeshadow. So this is one of their chrome liquid eyeshadows. I got mine in the shade Bliss. I think this was supposed to be kind of like a champagne gold with a pink and green reflect, which is really cool. Again, this is a formula that I have had my eye on since they launched them. I'm not sure if it was last year or even the year before at this point that these came out, but they are so fun. And I feel like Colourpop is definitely promoting them right now because of like festival season and festival makeup. I am not a festival girl at all, so I really don't know much about that or how people do their makeup and stuff like that. But I do know that it's dramatic, it's usually glittery, it's usually full of, you know, gems and sequins and stuff like that, which honestly, I feel like I would like, even though I am not built for music festivals. I am not built to stand outside wearing no clothes for hours on end. That's my perception from the outside in of what I see like on social media about music festivals, and that is just not my vibe. Anyway, these look really cool. They're very colorful, that's the only thing. So I only got one because I was like, how much am I really gonna use this? And even this color, okay, look at how cool this is though. I can tell like holding my hand back and forth like this. I don't know if I'm gonna get the right angle in the camera, but it looks very pink. When I flip my hand back like this from this side, it looks completely green, but I can't get it to show up not pink on the camera. Can you guys see maybe a little bit how it's shifting? All right, you can see a little bit how it's shifting green there. And then pink. It's really picking up most of the pink, but it looks very green from this angle, which is crazy. Okay, next, this I don't think is a new formula, but I picked up one of their precision brow pencils in the shade Black and Brown. I've been using my Rare Beauty one pretty much exclusively. I've just been on the hunt for new brow pencils, and I had brow pencils from Colourpop like years ago, but I don't really remember my opinion. That's the reasoning behind this. I just wanted to try out a new brow pencil, so we'll give that a shot today. And lastly, I got two lip products, and these were nostalgic for me because this reminds me of old school Colourpop, like when I first got into Colourpop back in 2016, 2017. So I picked up one of their ultra matte lips and one of their ultra glossy lips. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I do think that these formulas for a while were discontinued and Colourpop has recently re-released them. So this is the shade It Girl. This is the ultra glossy lip. I do love that they changed the applicator to something like this. It used to be one of those like plasticky brushes and I didn't love that. So again, not sure if this is an updated formula, but the applicator is really nice. So this is just a really beautiful shimmery gloss that you could top off pretty much any lipstick with. It's neutral, it's slightly pink leaning. Definitely my kind of lip color. Okay, I was just talking a whole bunch about this ultra matte lip and I wasn't recording, so I already swatched it on my hand. This is the shade Double Date. Let me show the applicator again because I wasn't recording. This, I don't really think they changed anything about this applicator for this one, but basically I was just saying how this is just a gorgeous, like I will wear this color all the time. I feel like this is a really good date night lipstick. Just that beautiful mid-toned, not too brown, not too pink, kind of nude lip. I love it. I also feel like this color could be very bridal as well. So there you have it, you guys. That's my little Colourpop haul. So now let's get to the fun part and start playing around with some of this stuff. So now the question is, do I want to do eyes first and go full glam, or do I want to slap some face makeup on real quick and do more of like a casual, easy makeup look? Actually, what I should do is call my sister and see what she thinks, because Shauna is always my first view and always asking me when the next video is coming out. She's my biggest supporter. Let's call her and see what she wants to see.
Hello, you've reached Gregorio. I can't come.
Dang it, didn't get her. Okay, you know what? Let's go glam today. I just went and grabbed my eye tapes. Let's do it. Let's go for the glam today. We're gonna do eyes first. So I'm just gonna cut my tapes. I always link this tape below. It is linked in my Amazon storefront, and it is the tape that I use on my bridal clients as well as on myself when I do my makeup. And I've been liking angling them up a little bit more lately just to give my eye a really nice lift. Just gonna brush my brows up out of the way. I'm gonna grab a little bit of concealer, and I'm gonna use my xoxo brow definer brush to just carve under my brows. I'm gonna wait till the end to fill in my brows, just cause, but I still want to define underneath of them with concealer just so we can start like blocking out the lid for eyeshadow. Just gonna blend that out a little bit. All right, P. Louise. Whoop. All right, so like I said, I think I'm feeling the 1111 palette today for this video, but there's not really a color in here to set my primer down with, so I'm just gonna grab a little bit of my translucent powder to do that first, and then we'll get into it. So we're gonna wing it. I don't really have a plan at all. I feel like I'm gravitating towards this pinky shade right here. So this is the color Protection. I'm going to pick this up on my Sigma E24, and I'm gonna start packing that in. Get a little more maybe. All right, there we go. I'm gonna start packing this into the outer corner and also working this up into the crease to start shaping out this look. And this color is pretty light, so I am just kind of going for it right away. It's washing out a little bit on camera. It looks a little bit more pigmented in person, but it definitely does blend out to be a pretty light color. I will say though, my first impression is that it is not feeling like, I feel like I'm not getting the Colourpop pigment that I usually get from their mattes, at least from some of my like favorite palettes of theirs. Like it's building for sure, but I'm a little surprised at how light the color payoff is at first. We shall see. Okay, I'm gonna take a Fox 2 brush from Sigma and Brianna Fox, and I'm gonna come into the shade Right Path. So I'm going to just start working right over top of that first color to bring a little bit more depth, and then working it up through the crease as well, but I'm gonna stay right here along my brow bone. I'm not gonna take it up quite as far. So this is how I really like to build up depth in the look. I feel like with the first lightest color, you can kind of go a little crazy and just go for it and map out, and then you can build it up and really get a nice gradient going by using a darker shade right after. Okay, I'm a lot happier with the pigment from this second shade than that first one. I don't know what was up with that first one. I just felt like I wasn't getting the payoff that I expected from it, but it's all good. All right, we're gonna take a break from the mattes for a second. I'm gonna get a little bit more of my P. Louise. I'm gonna pick this up on my Real Techniques 210 Expert Concealer brush, and I am going to lightly tap that all over both of my eyelids, and this is going to make our shimmer pop even more than it already would. I just love doing this step with the P. Louise. You can do this with concealer too if you want, but the P. Louise has has a really nice tack to it, which is why I prefer that for a primer over just regular concealer. But this gives kind of that soft cut crease effect. Again, this is something that I do on all of my, well, most of my bridal clients as well. Once I started doing it, I couldn't stop. Honestly, it gives so much of a brighter effect on the lid. I really love it. So now comes the decision for which shimmer we want to put on the lid, and I think I'm gonna go with this color right here. It's called Blessed. I'm actually just gonna get this shade Blessed on my finger because I have short nails today. I have my natural nails going, so I can use my finger to get this on the lid. Yeah, that looks really pretty. I do think this look is going to come out very bridal, which I'm not mad at, but I'm just gonna tap that right over top of where we just put that eyeshadow primer. All right, I'm gonna take my brush that I had that second matte shade that we were working with on. No extra product, but I'm just going to blend that line between the shimmer and the mattes. I wanna make sure that they are playing nicely together and there's no harsh line right there. All right, so for the sake of testing out as many colors as possible, since this is our first time trying this palette, I'm gonna come into this shade Empowered. This is my Sigma E42. It's just a more precise blending brush. And I'm gonna work that into the outer corner, and I'm gonna really try to keep it concentrated like right here, not take it too far up and out. And again, you can always take the brushes you were using before and just blend in with that darker color. That really helps to not spread the darker color out too far. It's definitely better to take a step back and assess the situation every so often, just to make sure you haven't gone too far. Oh, Sean is calling us back. Hey Squid, I'm filming. I have you on camera right now. I couldn't decide with the look that I'm doing right now if I wanted to like do eyes first and go more full glam, or if I wanted to like do my face first and just do more of a quick casual look. So which one do you think? I was calling to see which one you wanted to see, but which one do you think I went with?
You went full glam?
Yes.
Well, I'm good with either. I'm glad you did full glam.
All right. Well, you'll see it soon. All right, Squiddy. Love ya.
Love you too.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, we got the seal of approval on the full glam. Okay, and then I'm just gonna stay using that same brush and I'm gonna come over one more to the shade Divine. This is really pretty. It's like a dark matte black, I would say, or a really dark brown, but it's got those beautiful little micro glitters in there, which make it really fun. You don't really see those micro glitters on the eyes, to be honest, but it just makes it look pretty. Especially, it kind of looks like a night sky, and then shade name is Divine. I think those little touches make for a good aesthetic in the palette, even if you can't really see it on the eyes. So I'm going to keep this even a little bit more precise and just try to deepen up our outer corner right along the edge here, just a little bit more. Almost like a very subtle smoky wing, because once we take the tapes off, it's gonna look a lot more precise, and I think you're gonna love it. All right, so I'm keeping this close by, but I actually wanna use this after we do our face makeup so that it doesn't get messed up. I'm gonna use this for the inner corner and brow bone highlight, but for now, we're done with the top lid, so let's go ahead and take our tapes off. All right, I'm gonna grab my makeup wipe and just clean up underneath. You wanna make sure you do this step, especially when you're working with a lot of dark mattes, because you don't want it to mix into your concealer and make your under eyes look dark. Okay, I feel like I cannot get enough hydration into my skin recently, so really quick before we do the complexion, I'm gonna take a generous amount of my Too Faced Hangover Primer and just get some love back into my skin. All right, so as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, I wanted to take the opportunity as we're testing out new things from Colourpop to also talk you guys through some of my tried and true favorites. One of those things is this Pretty Fresh hyaluronic acid tinted moisturizer. This has been around for several years. For every day, and even for especially this time of year like spring and summer, this is such a good lightweight complexion product that can really be like manipulated to be what you want it to be. So I have two shades here. I have the shade Fair 4N and the shade Medium 11N. I did self-tan, but I'm testing out a new tan, and once again, I'm like not impressed. It just didn't get very dark, so I don't know, we'll see. I'm gonna test out this 11N shade because this is my tan shade. Because this is like a lighter coverage product, I might be able to get away with it, especially with concealer. Yeah, I think it's fine. So what I love about this is that, again, if you're somebody that doesn't love a super full coverage or super heavy foundation for your everyday, or even just in general, even when you're amping it up a little bit if you're going out, I feel like this is such a great base regardless, because you can build it up or you can leave it sheer. But either way, it does a really good job of just like evening out your skin tone without looking overdone. And then if you want that more full glam like we're doing today, you'll see how I do it, where once you start adding your concealer and your cream bronzer and your blush, like it can really fit into a full glam makeup routine as well. It's really versatile, and again, it's so lightweight. So for those everyday, like fresh spring and summer, no makeup looks, it's great for that as well. All right, so another product that I've mentioned many times on this channel, it is absolutely a favorite of mine. I believe it's out of stock right now, and it has, I feel like it's been going in and out of stock a lot recently, so I am just praying that they are not discontinuing this. This is the Soul Body Face and Body Bronzing Balm. I have mine in the shade Medium. This is also a repurchase. If you're not aware, Soul Body is a sister brand of Colourpop. If you go to the Colourpop website, you can find it. This is just such a beautiful cream bronzer. It definitely does have that balmy texture, and it definitely is less of a cream contour. It is very warm, but for that beautiful summery sun-kissed, this can really be barely there if you want it to be, or it can be built up if you want more full glam. But this is just such a beautiful foolproof product. So anyway, that's why I love that, and I really hope they don't discontinue it. All right, let's do concealer really quickly. I do not have a Colourpop concealer in front of me to try, so I'm just gonna use my Shape Tape. This is the Shape Tape Radiant in the shade 22N. So hopefully you guys can tell now that we have the concealer on, that bronzer looks a little bit less orange, a little bit less crazy, but we still have just that beautiful, softly sculpted sun-kissed look to the skin. I really like it. Okay, so now we have arrived to something new from Colourpop to test out. So I'm thinking for this look, I'm gravitating towards this Bally Baby Cream Blush. Since we are going full glam on the eyes, I feel like this will be really beautiful and complementary to this look. It's kind of a similar undertone to what we've got on the eyes already, and I think that it will complement the look without overpowering it. So I'm just gonna go directly in with my brush. Just gonna tap that in. Okay, that looks really pretty. It looks a little bit more pink than I was expecting, and it's actually still pretty vibrant, even though it doesn't look as vibrant in the pan. It definitely is a balmy, like it's not a super thick formula or anything like that. It's really pretty, and it does spread out really nicely, but it's just looking a little bit pinkier than I thought. But in terms of the formula of this product, it's very pretty. All right, again, I don't have anything from Colourpop to set with, so I'm just gonna use my trusty Anastasia translucent powder. This has lasted me such a freaking long time. You can tell how long I've had it because of how dirty it is, but it's still going strong. So I'm gonna keep using it until it dies. All right, so I just used the puff underneath my eyes, and I'm gonna just use a brush to tap in the translucent powder around the rest of my face and just make sure everything is set down before we move on. Okay, now I was thinking that maybe, this is normally where I would do powder bronzer, and I was just thinking to myself, like, do I feel like I need to, or do I feel like the cream bronzer is holding up on its own well enough? And I feel like it is. And honestly, same with the blush. So I don't feel like I need to overdo it here. I did bring this, which is one of their little heart blushes, but it's the powder form. This is one of the originals. I know they just re-released these over this past Valentine's Day to not be so hard to get open, but I have one of the older ones, so definitely a trick to get it open. But this is in the shade Kiss and Tell. And this is a really beautiful Barely There blush shade. So maybe I will, I'm not gonna go over the bronzer, but I'm just gonna get a little bit of this on a blush brush just to emphasize the cheekbones a little bit more. Yeah, I feel like that goes over top of that color, the cream blush, really well. Let's do a little bit of a bake underneath of the blush just for some extra definition under those cheekbones. You know we love that here. Okay, now I'm about to talk to you guys about one of my favorite Colourpop products of all time. And I'm sure I have mentioned this a gazillion times on this channel before, but this is the Super Shock highlighter in the shade Lunch Money. It is just absolute perfection in my opinion. So I just get it right on my finger and pop it right along my cheekbone. This formula is just absolutely foolproof. If you want to put it on top of a cream, you can. If you want to put it on top of makeup that has been set down with powder, like we are right now, you can. I believe they describe it as almost like a cream to powder formula because it dries down, I guess, to be more of a powder on the skin, but it's just, it goes over top of your makeup so well. It's just foolproof. I feel like you can't mess it up. And just look at that glow that it gives. Like, it looks so beautiful as a highlighter as well. I won't say it's like a natural highlighter. You definitely can make it blinding, but it's also not a super chunky, glittery highlighter formula. It's perfect. It really is. No matter what age you are, like no matter what your makeup style is, I feel like you can find a shade in this that works for you and use it. And like I said, just tap it on with your finger and go. All right, gonna dust off this powder. Don't want that to set too long. But now we've got a nice snatch under the cheekbone. We look nice and defined. All right, let's fill in our brows. So again, this is the Precision Brow Pencil from Colourpop. I have mine in the shade Black and Brown. Since I've been going really dark with my hair, a lot of brunette brow pencils can pull really red on me and it just doesn't look right with like the undertone of my hair color. So I'm hoping that this black brown one isn't too dark, but has the right undertone. And honestly, it looks like it does, just from my first couple of brow strokes here. And this is pretty pigmented. I'm holding pretty far back and using really light pressure because again, I don't want it to be too dark. Okay, undecided on this color. I'm worried that it might be a little bit dark, but I think we look okay for now. All right, let's move back to the eyes and finish those up now that the face is done. So I am gonna take one of the Colourpop Cream Gel Liners. This is in the shade Honey Dude. This is something that, again, I feel like has been around forever, but this is just a really good nude to put into your waterline to give your eye makeup a little bit more brightness, especially when you're doing something really glam and dramatic. Sometimes it's nice to have a lighter eyeliner in the waterline as opposed to a darker one because it still helps your eyes look really nice and open. Okay, for the lower lash line, I'm gonna come into the shade Right Path again. This is one of the shades we had in the crease. And I'm gonna take this on a little tiny blending brush. This is a Sigma E36. And I am just going to lightly smoke that out along the lower lash line. Okay, and then taking a flat definer from Sigma and coming into the shade Empowered. And I'm going to just kind of stamp and wiggle that along my lash line. Just kind of like connecting it in the outer corner here with the top. And then just grabbing that blending brush and softening that out. Okay, let's grab one of our shadow sticks to put the finishing touches on the eyeshadow. So again, this is the shade Angel Vibes, and I am just going to apply this directly to my inner corner. I'm not gonna get it on a brush or anything. I just wanna see how this does on its own. All right, and then I'm just gonna swipe a tiny little bit up under my brow bone and just tap that out with my finger. All right, and that's the eyeshadow. And I will tell you, remember when I said that this palette really screamed bridal to me? I mean, here it is. This look is so bridal. Like, this is basically my signature bridal look. Like, if I have a client that says, I want your signature look, full glam style, here it is. All right, let's get some lashes and some lips on, and then we'll be done. I'm gonna speed you through this part, but I'm just gonna curl my lashes and put some mascara on. For lashes, I'm gonna use these from Colourpop. They are in the style Hunni. They are the only Colourpop lashes that I have in my possession right now. They look a little small and natural for this look, but honestly, I think it's gonna be fine just for the purposes of the video. So I'm gonna pop these on. Okay, so like I said, kind of small, definitely a my lashes, but better vibe, or a more natural lash for my more natural gals. But again, this is a Colourpop video, so this is just an example of Colourpop lashes. All right, so now we have lips left. So again, talked about these two things. We have the ultra blotted lip and the ultra glossy lip. I pulled two of my Colourpop Lippie pencils that already existed in my collection. One of my favorite lip liner formulas of all time. Today I picked out the shade Brink and Field Day. So I'm just going to, ooh, we need a sharpen. Oh, we definitely need a sharpener. Please hold. So I have the shade Brink, which is this one, and then Field Day, which is this one. I think I'm gonna go with Brink. Now we're gonna go in with our ultra matte lip. Again, this shade is called Double Date. Did these always have that super vanilla-y smell? I feel like maybe they did. Still has it. This color looks like a pretty good coordinating color with this lip liner. It is slightly lighter than the lip liner. It's a little bit more nude, but it's going on really well. And the formula feels really nice. Again, I'm not sure if they reformulated this or not, but it feels pretty lightweight. It feels very comfortable. It doesn't feel thick or heavy or dry on my lips. So I like that. Definitely want to give it a few minutes to dry down, but that looks really pretty. And we could absolutely leave it like this. Well, okay, so my thought was to take a lippy stick and try to lighten it up a little bit. So let me see if this is even gonna look lighter. Yeah, let's try it. So this is the shade Sure Thing. This is one of their cream lippy sticks. I'll put this in the center. Yeah, it does lighten that up a little bit. This is also a good way too to layer. So now that that matte lipstick has dried down, it definitely does feel very matte on my lips. If you layer a matte lipstick underneath a cream lipstick formula like this, it's going to give you more staying power. So when like your gloss and your cream lipstick tend to rub off, you still have that matte underneath so that, you know, your lipstick color doesn't completely come off. So a little tip there. All right, let's put the finishing touch on. So again, this is the shade It Girl from the Ultra Glossy Lip formula or collection. And we're just gonna top this off with this. This smells so good too. It's not purely vanilla. What am I smelling? Cotton candy? Oh, it smells so good. It smells sweet, but it's not like purely vanilla sweet. It's like candy sweet. I love it. Gorgeous. And guess what? Formula feels really nice, not too thick, doesn't feel sticky, glides on really beautifully. I think that looks so nice. All right, if you watched my last video, you saw me talk about this, but let's finish this whole thing off with some setting spray. This is the Colourpop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Acid Setting Mist. It is so beautiful. Let me clarify though, what I like this specifically for is for bringing life back to the makeup after you've set everything down with powder. This is really good at bringing that life and hydration back to your skin, making your makeup like kind of melt in a little bit more and look a little less makeup-y or matte or powdery. I will not say that this makes your makeup super long lasting, so I would would top it off with a more longer lasting lock it in type of setting spray if you need longevity. But if you just want a little bit of freshness and healthiness back into your makeup as a finishing touch, definitely recommend this. All right, my friends, here we go. This is not a new look for me. This is definitely a very signature look for me, especially in terms of like my bridal makeup style. So of course I love this look, but I really love it. I think it turned out beautifully. Yeah, why don't we do this? Why don't we go through and just round up the newer products that I tried out today, since that was the main reason that we were here. Let's start with standouts. So probably not a surprise, the palette. It just gave me what I wanted. It gave me what I expected. This is a color scheme that I'm very comfortable with. This is a color scheme that I will use all of the time. The only color that I really struggled with was this one. For some reason, this particular shade was like not as pigmented as I wanted it to be. And I felt like I was really having to dig my brush in there to be able to get the payoff that I wanted. But everything else, like these three colors and this one, all performed beautifully on my eyes without any issues. So it's just something about that one shade. Love this. I'm gonna stop rambling about it because I think you guys get the picture at this point. I also really love this eyeshadow stick. Again, this is the shade Angel Vibes. I think it was beautiful. Kind of gave me exactly what I was expecting from it. So I really did like this as well. I would like to do a look where I try this maybe as the all over lid shade instead of a powder shimmer, just to see how it would work in that situation. But first impression, I really like this as well. I really liked this blush as well. Again, definitely felt like a nice balmy formula. Was able to be set down with translucent powder, but still held its own under the translucent powder. It didn't completely disappear underneath, which is great. I will say, I feel like it looks a little bit more pinky and vibrant on the cheeks than it maybe leads you to believe in the pan, but I'm not mad about that. So this was really beautiful and I am looking forward to using it more. All right, last standout for me, I really love this Ultra Glossy Lip formula. Again, this is the shade It Girl. It's beautiful, it's shimmery. You could wear this alone. You could wear it to top off your favorite nude lip. It's just a gem. It's just one of those things that's gonna be a go-to for me when I'm looking for a gloss to top off my lipstick with. I love that they updated this applicator to, what would you call this? A kind of a doe foot, I guess, like more of that spongy tip versus a brush. I think it applies really well. I think it's comfortable. It's not thick. It's not sticky. It's a really nice formula. All right, so two products here where the jury is still out. I feel like you can probably guess. The first one is this brow pencil. I'm just not convinced. I feel like as I've been wearing it, it's been like smudging almost and kind of like spreading. I'm just, one, I'm not convinced on the color. Two, I'm not convinced on the formula. You know how sometimes when you get a good brow pencil, like you can really fill in and define your brows, but they still look, like you can just tell that they have a nice quality to them. And then there are other brow pencils where you look at them, like you look at somebody's makeup or you look at your own makeup and it's like, yeah, she drew her brows on. She just completely drew those on. I'm kind of debating on whether or not I feel that way about this formula. So jury's still out. We're definitely gonna play around with it more, but first impression, I'm not like overly impressed by it. And then secondly, we have this ultra matte lip. Listen, it is labeled to be ultra matte. It's literally in the name. So I get it. But when I was first applying it, I felt like it felt really nice. A nice thin formula, didn't feel super dry or anything like that. But as I was applying this lipstick over it, after I had given it about a minute to dry down, that was kind of when I started to feel like, oh, this feels really dry on my lips. And I'm glad that I'm putting a cream lipstick over top to make it a little bit more comfortable. So next time I use this, I am going to have to just leave it as is and not put anything over top, just to see if it really is super dry or what. So that's another one where the jury is still out, but as far as the color, love it. All right, and here we are at the end of another video. So if you have made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I have no idea how long this video is going to be, but I'm going to assume, knowing myself, that it's not going to be short. So if you have made it this far, one, thank you for being here. Two, if you have not already subscribed to my channel and you're still hanging out in this video, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below so you don't miss any future uploads from me. I'm a Colourpop girl, I'm a tutorial girl. I just love sitting and doing my makeup. That's really what I love to do. So if you want more of that, definitely subscribe. You can also follow me on Instagram. I am at glambydevyngregorio over there. That is my makeup artist business account. I kind of treat that as my online portfolio. So you'll see a lot of my client work on there, but you will also see a little bit of me as well. And then at devdevgregs is my personal Instagram if you just want to keep up with me in between YouTube videos. So with that, I will catch you in my next one. Mwah. Love you. Bye.